Okay, so I just want to discuss with you the practice exercise that we have for questions on the topics of the operating segment and also the other one on related party. So just discuss with you the related the operating segment first. Okay, so we're going to have here what we have here. We're going to look at here is your operating segment. Okay, so for operating segments here we have three questions. I think three questions. This is about the max air. Okay, and then the other ones you have Lombok, and then the next one you have the ultimate set. Okay, so we're going to discuss this one with you. Okay, so the max air here is a premium airlines with its headquarters in Subang Airport. It provides a private flight charters to a wealthy client and big business. So this is what you have for the business profile here. So the things that we need to focus here. So we have this is the details here. So you have the names of the directors. Okay, you have the names of the directors here. Okay, so we have a few directors. Okay, and then this is the independent and non-executive directors type of flight. So there is a flight charters here, a few types of flight. And then the next one, you have the net profit here. And then you're going to have the foreign office. So if you look at here, if you still remember that for the operating segments here, we have two types of operating segment. Either that one is based on the geographicals, and then the other one is based on the geographical business segment, and then the other one is geographical. So we have two types here. So if you look at here, in this max air profile here, if you look at here, they are dealing or they are measuring their main business here is a airline with the airline. Okay, they provide a chartered flight, private flight charters. They provide a chartered flight to the individual. So means that in terms of the business here, they only have one line of business. Okay, one line of business. Okay, so because they are only have a chartered, okay, chartered flight. This is your business activities. Okay, they are only have one line of business. Okay, and then if you look at here, the other information, so for a business here, we're going to have a segments here, we only have one line of business. Okay, and then the other things that we need to test here is on the geographicals. Okay, for geographicals here, we have types of few foreign office. So we have a few foreign office in Dubai, Doha, Ho Chi Minh, and Sydney. So they are in the geographicals here. We have 4 geographical areas. Okay, and then since 2017, the company embarked into aggressive expansion plan. It invested in a substantial amount in marketing its private charter service in a foreign market. Okay, the main activity they are invested in a private chartered service in a foreign market. So it means that they're focusing more on the geographical sense. And then there's a set up a physical office in certain federation. Company appointed John Tan Sri Arya to lead the expansion plan. The foreign office set monthly financial. Okay, this foreign office, this is another key points given here. Send monthly financials and performance report to the HQ in Malaysia. So means that there are somebody that are monitors their performance. Okay, so you already fulfill this criteria here. Because once they submit a monthly report, and then this report was submitted to the HQ in Malaysia, so means that this report is reviewed by HQ, review by HQ, review or monitor by HQ. So means that it's fulfill the criteria of the financial statement or the monthly financial performance was submitted to the HQ. They provide their own financial statement or financial information. Okay, John also proposed the acquisitions of Latte Limited, a Singaporean specialist garment cutter, to provide for a dining experience to the airlines. The acquisition will give Max Air 40% ownership in Latte. So they come up with a new proposal to buy or to acquire Latte. This Latte is for the purpose of catering, catering. And then they're going to have 40% interest in that company. So once this company bought this Latte here, once they have 40% here, consider that this company become their associates. It will allow Max Air to jointly dictate with another major shareholder the daily operation of Latte, especially the flavor and branding of the dining experience. It seems that the Max Air going to have they're going to dictate with another major, but they are going to have a significant influence, significant influence. However, it does not include any representations on the board of directors, so they are not involved with the key personnel management. So they are not key personnel management, but they have a significant influence. Since their ownership is 40%, they become an associate. Okay, so that is what you have. Okay, the other proposal was brought up was John is to dispose it Learjet. Okay, Learjet 45 plane. This plane here was used older technology, so they're going to dispose it, and then that's less well efficient. After hearing the proposals in the board of director meeting, Datuk Samsa called up John, and then he willing to buy the plane for his private ownership. So they want to sell this plane, and then this plane is going to transfer to Datuk Samsa. Okay, Datuk Samsa. He was willing to buy the plane for this private ownership. John was so happy to suggest a discount price, discount quick price for the sales of quick sales price. At the year end 2018, the plane was transferred to Datuk Samsa, but still parked in the hangar of Max Air. Okay, so this one is related with, if you still remember the topic of RPT, related party transaction, but in this topic, we're going to test on the or operating segment, not related party, but its information given here is more on the related party. So based on the MFRS 8, okay, operating segment suggests to John how we could better present the financial information to the shareholders of MedAir, especially to provide evidence for his expansion plans. So how are we going to suggest this one? Okay, for suggestions for this one, it means that would like to suggest that since it's related with the operating segment, so we would like to suggest John to include operating segments. Okay, we're going to include to suggest here the suggestions here. Okay, need to include the operating segment informations in financial or in Max Air financial statements here, Max Air financial statement, because we want to help the user to present a better financial information. So we need to include operating segment to the Max Air financial statement, operating information, operating segment information to the Max Air financial statements. Okay, so based on the informations that we have here, since we only have one business line, okay, so we only have one business line, so the best informations that we're going to have here, so for operating segment, we said that we're going to provide operating segment. Since for operating segment we only have one business sections, so the operating segments that we have here, and then we have four geographical, so the best operating segment that we need to provide here in terms of the geographical, because business segments here we only have one business segment, and then for geographical here we have four geographical segments, so the information will be more useful if we provide the operating segment in terms of geographical, because we have four different areas here. We have Qatar, which is Doha, Vietnam, okay, and that's Sydney, and also Malaysia. So we have four different geographical area. So the operating segment we need to provide in terms of geographical areas. Okay, because business we only have one types of business. So since we already decide that, okay, we already decide that. Okay, the first thing is either it's fulfill the operating segment or not. Okay, the first one we already decide that we're going to have operating segment. So operating segment in terms of geographical. Okay, geographical because we have more areas of operations, more operation, and then when you select this geographical area as your operating segment, we need to test for the whether it's already is qualify for reportable segment. We need to test for the reportable segments. So since we don't have informations, figures in terms of figure, we cannot test for a reportable segment. So for the operating segment, this geographical area fulfill the operating segment because the result, the financial result, okay, the financial result of result of each uh, geographical of each branch, what I call here, of each foreign office, okay, or if foreign office need to review, need to submit the reports to HQ. So this report was reviewed by either the CEO or the board of directors or the chief as operating decision maker. So it fulfill the criteria here. The criteria, the first criteria here is review. Result is reviewed by result reviewed by HQ. Okay, so HQ means that they may have the CEO or the CODM will review the result. Okay, so for this one, so based on the suggestion, we look to provide a better financial information to the shareholder. We suggest that the Max Air should provide operating segment. Yeah? So this operating segment will be based on geographical area because we have 4 geographical area: Qatar, Doha, Dubai, Qatar, Sydney, and the Malaysia. Malaysia is a HQ. And then, so we need to check whether it fulfill the operating segment's criteria or not. So the operating segment is say you look at the items that you have here. We said that the management of the company, okay, this foreign office, okay, the paragraph under this one. So this paragraph, fulfill the criteria of the operating segment. So this is the criteria of operating segment because this foreign office need to send monthly. So this is the criteria. We fulfill this criteria. Okay, so they fulfill the criteria because the foreign office send monthly financial performance report to the HQ. So we're going to provide the operating segments informations in the financial statements of Mac Air, and then this operating segment will be based on the geographical areas because this foreign they fulfill the criteria of operating segment. Once this foreign office need to send monthly financial performance report to the HQ in Malaysia, so you fulfill the criteria. Okay, and then once you fulfill the criteria here, the next test that we need to do here, we need to test for the reportable segment, whether it can be a reportable segment. But for this one, we cannot test for reportable segment because we don't have any figures. No figures, so we cannot test. But once you already classify is a financial segment, this one as an operating segment, so the next step we need to test for the reportable segment. So this reportable segment, since there is no figure, so we cannot test for the reportable segment. But that is a sequence. We start with the operating segment. Once you fulfill the operating segment, then we need to decide whether it can be a reportable segment. Okay. So we proceed with the second question here. Okay, Lombok Berhad is a mining company. Okay, operates in Malaysia, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea. Okay, so 3 geographical areas. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. The CEO received. Okay, the CEO received report on the aggregate basis for each of commodity produced. So you have gold, silver, diamond, and platinum. Yeah. So we have a line of business here. We have gold, silver. There are the activities here. The mining activities here relate with the gold, silver, diamond, and platinum. So the CEO also receive report on the aggregate basis for each of its Malaysia, Timor-Leste, and Papua New Guinea operations. Okay, so they receive two types of report. The first one is based on the geographicals. Okay, and the second one, so the geographical is number 2. The first one is based on the their productions, based on the productions of line of business. Okay. In determining its operating segment, Lombard will also consider the information presented to the board of the director. The board of director is presented with the result only by country. So only by countries here. So the board of director, they only been presented based on the result by countries only. The information shows that the country has generated substantial revenue for Lombok Berhad. So once, if you look at here, we have two types of operating segment. Either you have in terms of production or business, okay, they have gold, silvers, and platinums here. So four different items that they produce. But in terms of geographicals, okay, geographical, they have three main areas here for a geographical. But the reports here only present with the result only by country. Both of these segments need to submit the report to the CEO. Okay, both of this one need to submit the report to the CEO. But the CEO only the present the result based on the countries, okay, based on the country or geographicals to the board of directors. They only present the result based on geographicals to the BOD, okay, to board of directors. Okay. And then the CEO was alert that there is an expansions of for the operations in the Sri Lanka that going to produce a rare pink diamond, even though it's all being has only been in operation for 2 years. Okay, they also has expansion of business here in Sri Lanka. Okay, expansion of operation in Sri Lanka. And in that, Sri Lanka is produced a rare pink diamond, even though it has been operation for 2 years. They already operation for 2 years. And the operation has not generated any revenue due to high discovery cost. So in Sri Lanka here, they already have operation for 2 years. They already operate for 2 years. And then they produce a rare pink diamonds. Okay, pink diamonds. They produce a pink diamond. Okay, and then there is no profit here because they have a high discovery cost. They have a loss because of the high discovery cost. So in this case, you're going, if you look at here, based on the business segment, okay, so if you look at here for the operating segment, okay, identify which one is the most suitable operating segment. You need to identify the most suitable operating segment, the most suitable operating segments. Okay. So for operating segment, you have two types here in terms of a product or business line. So for products here, you have 4 types here. We have a gold, silver, diamond, platinum. Yeah? Okay, platinum. So 4 product. Yeah? In terms of a geographicals, okay, for geographicals, you have Malaysia, okay, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, and also a new one is Sri Lanka. So in terms of this, you have 4 geographical and then 4 products. So now we want to decide because which one is the most suitable to be presented as the operating segment. So we need to check for the criteria here. So the first criteria here, okay, they need to have a report. They're going to present result that they receive a result on aggregate basis. Okay, they have a result. Okay, result of operating. Okay, operating, they receive both. They receive in terms of product and also in terms of geographical. But Okay, only geographicals was present to the board of director. Okay, only this one. This one is not present. Yeah? They present based on the okay, result based on countries only. So now we need to identify which one is the most operating segment. The most suitable to become the operating segment. So in this case, even though they fulfill the first criteria, the result is presented to the CEO or reviewed by the CEO. But the CEO only present the report to the BOD only based on countries. So the most suitable here, okay, to answer this question, so the most suitable operating segments here should be based on geographical, okay, or geographical or countries, or country based on countries. Okay, because why? Because only this result, only country's result was present to BOD. Okay, so this is the key point where to get that information. So, okay, so this is key point why you said that is the most suitable here is a geographical areas or the based on country, because the directors only review the result based on country. So the most suitable operating segment, even though you have two types here, product and the geographical, so the most suitable here will be the operating segment, or to classify as operating segment here is based on geographical, because the result is presented to BOT. Yeah? Okay. So the next one, discuss whether the Sri Lanka operations can be reported as an operating segment. So the Sri Lanka here, if you look at here, Sri Lanka operates. So they operate but at loss. They say operation at loss. And then they produce, okay, they produce a rare diamonds. Okay, the person do not generate any revenue. Okay, this Sri Lanka, even though this is a part of geographicals, okay, and then they produce at loss, okay, they operate at loss, but this still can be a part of operating segment. Why it can be a part of operating segments here? Because the result was reviewed by the CEO, and then even though they are operating at the loss, they operate at loss, so the Sri Lanka still can be presented or can be reported as the operating segment. Okay, and then because of what? Because of that, the result is reviewed by the CEO. Okay, CEO review that result. Okay. Okay, and then so the result is reviewed by the CEO. The CEO monitor the result, and then the second situation here, if management believe that, okay, if management believe that information is useful. Okay, so we have two situations here. The first one, result is reviewed by the CEO, and then the second situation here, if management believe that the information is useful, then the Sri Lanka can be reported as one of the operating segment. Yeah? Okay. So the last questions that we have here, questions 3. Yeah? So questions 3 here is about ultimates. Yeah? Ultimates. Okay, for Ultimate Berhad, it has 8 business segments, which are reported separately for in its internet account. Yeah? So they have 8 business segments. So we have here. Okay, altogether you have 8: land, Japan, Malaysian, furnitures, IT consulting, electronic, and land developments. So you have all together of this one, and then the other one you have a printing. So altogether here, it provide you with the total revenue, profit, and also total asset. Yeah? Okay. So the next one, okay. This is what you have for printing. So this is the total as revenue, total profit, and total losses. So as the accountants of the company, you are required to determine how many reportable segments that the company has, and then justify your answer based on MFRS 8. Yeah? So for this one, you need to test, okay, test for 10%, test 10%. That's because the figure is given, so you need to test a 10% test. So you're going to test for the asset, okay, revenue, and also the profit. Yeah? Okay, so you're going to look at here. So if you look at here, so maybe I need to bring this one a little bit over. Okay, so this is, you can bring this one to the, okay, so bring this one a bit over. So we need to have that information. So, okay, so we're going to have this one. So we need to test it. We need to test here. So the total revenue that we have here is 49, but it's not segregated between the external revenue and the internal revenue, but it gives you in terms of total. Total here is a revenue, and then this is a profit, and then this is a total asset that you have. So in this one, you don't have a loss here, only have a profit, so just divide that figures here. So all the assets that you have here, okay, each of the segment need to divide with this figure, same as this one. All of the segment need to divide with this figure, same as this one also. Okay, so going to look at here, the totals here, I'll recalculate this one. Hopefully that will recalculate this one. Okay, so the totals revenue, just plug the figures there and then put the percentage here. So recalculate the percentage here is 25, but you know how to calculate this one, isn't it? Okay, 15,100 divided by 59, yeah? Okay, just put it, give you one answer for this one, yeah? Okay, the rest, 15,100. Okay, for Japan's here, we're going to have 15,100. Okay, divide by 59,650. Okay, then you're going to have here is about 25%, yeah? 25%. Okay, and then for profits here, you have 3,390. Okay, divide by 14,187. So you're going to have here is 24%. Okay, for assets here, 11,730. Okay, and then divide with for 50, 5778. Okay, so this one we're going to have here is equal to 23%. The rest you can calculate. So just give you the answer for this one. Okay, formulations here. So formulation, the percentage that we have here is 9. This one is 20, 22, 7, 6, 9. And then you have 2 for printing. That's one, 24, 10, 14, 28. And then you have 5, 6, 7, and 6. Yeah? Okay, and then for total asset, 11, 23, 19, 7, 5, 9, 3. So you have this one. Yeah? So now we need to decide which one can be based on the 10% test. Based on 10% test, which one that fulfill the 10% test. Okay, if you look at here, the one that fulfill the 10% test here, yeah, the one that fulfill the 10% test. Okay, this is the first one based on the revenue. This one, and then this one. So you have 3 here based on profit. This one. Okay, and then based on asset. So if you look at here, the one that are fulfill 3 criteria. Okay, that fulfill 3 criteria, which is to fulfill the asset, revenue, and profit. Here we have Japan segment, which is Japan, furnitures, and IT. Yeah, IT Japan. Okay, that fulfill the 3 segment. Okay, now we analyze the other item. Okay, for Malaysians. Okay, for Malaysians fulfill the profit and also profit the asset. Yeah. Okay, and then the other IT, electronic, lands here do not fulfill that criteria. So based on this one that can be classified as the reportable segments here. Okay, the reportable segments here will be Japan, okay, Malaysia, okay, furnitures and IT Japan. Yeah. So we have 4 segments. So based on the 10% test here, there are 4 reportable segments that we have here. Japan, furniture and IT fulfill all that 3 criteria, but for Malaysians here, we fulfill only criteria of profit and the asset. Okay, so at least 1 criteria that we fulfill. So altogether we have 4 reportable segments, and then after that you need to check the percentage of the external revenue. But in this case, we don't have the information about the external revenue. So we try to test based on this one, based on the total revenue. So when you total up the total revenue for this 4, okay, the total, since we don't have information about the external revenue, we try to test based on the total revenue. So the total revenue, when you total up for this 4 company that you have here, so the total revenue for 4 segments, okay, for 4 reportable segments that we have here, okay, so you're going to have here is 45,100 divided by 59,650. So we have 75%. So 75% is more than 76%, which is more than 75% requirement. Yeah. Okay. So since we only check based on the total revenue because we don't have information about the external revenue. So it does here. So it fulfill. Let's say it's not, it's less than 75%. So we need to add new segment, new reportable segment. So the new reportable segment, maybe we're going to choose for a land development, because you look at here as compared with another one, the land development's total revenue here is 9. Okay, and then the total asset also 9. And then the total profit that we have here is 7. As compared with another one, the others segment, the land development has more higher percentage as compared with another uh, segment. So if after you calculate here the amount is less than 75%, so you need to add new reportable segments. We need to add new reportable segments. So the new reportable segment, the most suitable here is the land development. Yeah? Okay, this is the most suitable if if it's less than 75%, so you need to add a new reportable segment, and then the most suitable reportable segments here will be land development. If this one is if less than 75%. Okay, so that is what you have for questions 3. Yeah? Okay, now going to move the last questions that we have here is questions 4. Okay, for questions 4 here, we bring this one to the next page. Okay, for questions 4, the one that we have here is Galore. Galore Berhad has 5 business segments, which is reported separately. Okay, it already mentions that they have 5 business segments. They have 5 business segments. Okay, we have reported separately in its internal account. Internal, because operating segments here is for the internal. So segments that we have here is engineering, chemicals, property, medicals, and insurance. Okay. So they have a profit, they have a loss, and then they have a total asset. So revenue is also a combination of external and internal. So we have both here. Okay, so we need to determine whether each business segment can be a reportable segment, and then we also need to justify here. So we need to check for the total revenue. Just try one only. Okay, for the engineering, for engineer, I just check for this one only. This one. Okay, so before that, since you have a combinations of profit or loss here, you need to look at how much the profit that we have. So this one is already combinations, so you need to check how much the profit that we have. So this is a profit, this is a profit, and then this is a profit. So you total up that 3 figures together. So you're going to have here is 3840. Okay, and then for the loss here, so for the loss, you have this loss. This is also loss. So you have a loss here. The loss that you have here is only 2, which is 1340. Okay, so in this case, the profit is higher. So once the profit is higher here, so the profit is higher, we're going to choose a profit. So we're going to choose here the higher between profit or loss. So in this case, the profit is higher. So we're going to choose based on profit. So the profit will be the denominator for the profit. So this one going to divide with 38. Okay. So for total revenue, we're going to divide with 30,500, and then for profit sake, we're going to divide with 3840, and then for total assets here, we're going to use this figure, 68,500. Okay, I just calculate one for the engineering. Okay, for the engineering, based on revenue here, so revenue here is 15,100 divided by 3,500. So you're going to have here is equals to 49%. 49%. Okay, and then based on the profit, okay, based on the profit that we have here is 2,800 divided by 3,840. So based on profit that we have here is 54%. 54%. And then based on the asset, okay, based on the asset, okay, based on the asset, we have 25,700. Okay, and then divide by 68,500. So you're going to have here is equals to 24%. So based on this one, okay, engineering fulfill all that criteria. So all fulfill the assets, revenue, and the profit test. So they fulfill all that criteria, so they can be a reportable segment. Okay, reportable segment. Okay, we need to test for the rest. So for the rest, we try to look at for the chemicals. So okay, for you try to calculate, check with your answers here. Just provide the answer based on the one that you have here. So calculations you calculate later on. I give you ones of the examples here for the engineering. Okay, for chemicals, we have 26 here. Okay, 26%. And then for the profit that they have here is 28%. Okay, and then this one is 17. Okay, for properties here, property we have here, we need to have another colors here. Okay, for property we have here is equals to 7.5 only for the revenue. And then for the profit 24, 24% because 920 divided by 3850. Okay, this one for profits here. 920 divided by 3840. So going to have here 24%. And then this one you have 16%. Yeah? 16%. Okay, for medicals here, we have 12.5. Okay, 12.5%. Okay. And then you're going to have here 420 here. You're going to have here is only 11%. And then this one is 5%. So 5%. No, sorry. Sorry for medicals. Medicals, you have here 12.5. Where is my answer? So we have 12.5. And then 11. Okay, 11. And then you're going to have here is 5. Okay, 5% only. Is it 5% or 16%? 12 or 16%. Sorry, I think that is wrong. Okay, where is my answer? Okay, this one is supposed to be 17. Okay, this one is supposed to be 40%. Yeah. Is it 40%? I think so. So it's not 24, it's supposed to be 40%. We need to calculate this one again. 25,700 divided by 68,500. 37%. So we're going to have that one 37%. Okay, 25,700 divided by 68,500. Okay, 37%. Yeah. You check, you could recalculate this one again. Supposed to be here is 37.5, 37%, or 38%, 37.5. We're going to have here 17, alright. Okay, so it fulfill the criteria here. Okay, and then you have 38, 17, and then 16. Okay, and then this one, 335 here, divided by 8. So you're going to have here is only. Okay, so we're going to look at the next one for insurance. Insurance here is 4.9 in another policy. Okay, so you're going to have here is 4.9. Okay, the next one you're going to have 18%. Okay, and then the next one you have 5%, yeah? 1.96. Okay, so based on another segments, okay, for chemicals here, okay, chemicals here, we have 20. This one is supposed to be here 38, but this one is supposed to be 24. 38 is for here, yeah? Okay, this one is supposed to be 24. 16,200. Okay, we're going to have here 16,200 divided by, okay, 68,500. Going to have 24 here. Okay, so for the operative portable segment, engineering fulfill all that three criteria. Okay, chemicals also fulfill. Chemicals here for chemicals, asset, profit, and revenue. The same thing for property, also fulfill the three criteria. The same thing for the medicals, and then for the insurance. Okay, only insurance fulfill the profit test. Fulfill the profit test. Okay, so in this case, okay, so if you look at the properties here, what happened to the property? So property that we have here is 9 to 100. So 9 to 100 here, okay, is it fulfill the test of the profit? We check for that one, 9 to 100. So okay, engineering, chemical, and medical is clearly can be a reportable segment. Okay, property do not satisfy the revenue test. Okay, for property do not satisfy the revenue test. So if you check here for the revenue test 920, okay, 920 but with a 3840. So they only have 22%. So they fulfill that one, 22%. So you have that one 24. Okay, so all this could fulfill the criteria except for insurance. Okay, if you look at for the insurance here, insurance does not the revenue and asset test, but they fulfill the criteria all the of the uh, profit test. Okay, they fulfill this one for the profit test. Okay, so it's also can be considered as a operating segment, and then all the segment that we have here can be a reportable segment. Okay. Okay. So determine the operating segment. So the operating segments that we have here, we're going to have all become the operating segments. Okay, all become the reportable segment. All the operating segment can become a reportable segment because engineering is fulfill all criteria. Okay, chemical also all. The medical also all, yeah? The same thing for property. Okay. And then for insurance, yeah. Okay, all fulfill. Okay. So for the one that fulfill all here, we have the okay that fulfill all criteria, all three criteria. Okay. Revenue and asset tax fulfills here is engineering, chemicals, property, medicals. And then for the insurance here, insurance only fulfill the revenue and the profit tax. So all operating segment can be a reportable segment. Okay, check for the calculations. Check for that one. Okay, so that is what we have for the operating segments. So any questions? Okay, we're going to ask. If you have any questions, we're going to discuss detail in the class. Next class. Okay, so the next one we're going to continue with the next one is your, just want to look at your related party, okay, related party. So you just want to find the first for the related party. Okay, we're going to discuss on related party. Okay, so I will provide you with the answer actually. Okay, so maybe I need to find the one without an answer. Okay, so never mind. Just give you the answer. Is it okay? Okay, not this one. Okay, so just give you this one. Yeah? The exercise of related party. I need to find the file first. While searching for the files here, so maybe need to find for the files. Okay, so this is what you have for a related party. Just want to share with you the related party. Yeah? Exercise on related party. Okay, need to find for the file first. Yeah? Mm. Okay, so just discuss with you this one. Yeah? The related party, just show with you the related party. Just provide with you the so I'm going to share with you the related party. Okay, so for our related parties here, you're going to look at the transactions here. This is the first questions that we have here. Related party is a transfer of resources, service or obligation between reporting entity and related party regardless of whether a price or what price a price is charged to generate company prefer to secure business deal amongst the group of company. So you need to explain three reasons. Okay, for three reasons that we need to explain here, we will base on the advantage, advantage of the related party. So three reasons here we need to provide with the advantage. So we're going to have here for the advantage. Explain three reasons. Three reasons for the preference of the company having the transaction with the related party. So this one is related with the advantages. So the advantage that you have here is based on slide 7 and 8. So 7 and 8 here discuss about the advantage of related party, which is contracting efficiency, relevance informations. Okay, and then the third one is facilitations of loan and then business investment. So this one you need to explain. So this one is explained. I just give you the key point. So the key point, the reason why we need to have the related party, the preference of the related party transactions here is because of the advantage that we receive from the related party, which is related with the contracting efficiency, relevant knowledge, facilitations of loan and business investments. So that is the answer for the first question. Okay, now we're going to look at the second question here. Okay, so these transactions that we have here is Mr. Triumph's own exchange hotel under umbrella of Triumph Hotel Berhad in East Coast of Malaysia. Okay, Mr. Triumph is also the managing directors of the company. Yeah? So this is the transactions that occur in the year 2017. Yeah? Okay, Mr. Triumph purchased 50,000 Triumph Hotel voucher for his friends. Okay, purchase the vouchers here for his friend. The transaction was not considered as a material to the company. Yeah? So who is a Mr. Triumph here? Mr. Triumph here is the managing director of Triumph Hotels. So he is the key management personnel. So they are key management personnel. Okay, so once they provide, okay, when Mr. Triumph purchase a hotel vouchers here, even though for his friends here, but this one is considered as a transaction with a key management personnel. So this transaction here is considered as a related party transaction. So it need to disclose in the financial statement because the transaction here is with Mr. Triumph. So Mr. Triumph is a managing director of the company and then he is considered as a key management personnel. Okay, and then the second one. Okay, Mr. Triumph also controls Hot Berhad. Also control Hot Berhad. A car rental company is a separate entity from Triumph Hotel. And then Mr. Hot Berhad often supplies car for the customer of Triumph Hotel. So the keywords that we have here is a controls. So controls here, Mr. Triumph control Hot Berhad. So control Hot Berhad here means that this Hot Berhad here is a subsidiary of the company. Okay, subsidiary of company, even though this is a separate entity from Triumph Hotel. So we're going to provide a customer, okay, supplies a car customer. So this one is also considered as a related party transaction because Hot Berhad as a subsidiary. So you need to disclose to the financial statement. So it's also considered as a related party transaction because of the word controls. So controls by a parts perhaps. So it may become a subsidiary, but it also can relate with a key management personnel because this one Mr. Triumph control Hot Berhad. So it's relate with two, either it can become a subsidiary or also it can relate with a key management personnel. Okay, the third item here. Okay, Mr. Anand. Okay, Mr. Anand is a close friend to Mr. Triumph. Had booked a corporate event package with Triumph Hotel. He receives 10% discount for the early booking as according to the hotel policy. So Mr. Anand here is only a close friend to Mr. Triumph. So even though Mr. Anand received 10% discount, but Mr. Anand is not a close family members, family member with a key family members of key management personnel, which is Mr. Triumph. So since it's not a close family member, so it's considered as a this transaction cannot be considered as a related party transaction because Mr. Anand here is only a friend. This friend is not a close family. Yeah? So that is what we have for this one, the transactions here. The first one is the transaction with the directors. Yeah? So transactions with the director is a RPT. The second situation, say Mr. Trump's control. Control is some sort like a subsidiary or also can be related because this company was controlled with Mr. Triumph. This Mr. Triumph is also the key management personnel. So this one is considered as a related party transaction, also need to be disclosed. And then the third situation here, Mr. Anand is only a close friend of Triumph. So once he is a close friend, is not a family member. So it cannot be considered as a related party transaction. Okay. Okay, so we're going to look at the next situations here. C member had has four directors. Okay, so we're going to have this one. They have four directors who are responsible and have authorities in planning, directing, and controlling. So they have four directors. I mentioned that they have four directors. Okay, so this the group, so they have key management personnel there. They have four directors. The group financial period for assignment January to December for each, and then Puan Nadia Salmia is a company accountant. They inform the director the compensation package of director need to be disclosed. Okay, they said that this amount of remuneration need to be disclosed in the notes to the financial statement according to MFRS 124. Okay, and then the director has raised specific concerns on the related party issue and require explanation from Puan Nadia. Okay, so they want to know why their remuneration need to be disclosed as a related party under related party disclosure. So you need to provide explanations to them, to the director, require that you are the Puan Nadia, so Puan Nadia need to explain to the director why the director the remuneration need to disclose in the financial statement. Okay, so you need to explain here why here. So based on the above scenario discussed in accordance with MFRS 124 related party disclosure, who are the related party? And then what is a related party transaction? So to answer this one, you need to refer to slide 4. Slide 4 here is related with the definition. So you need to define who is a related party and then what is a related party transaction. So related party here, what we define here is any person. Okay, related party is a persons or entity, entity that is related with, okay, with a reporting entity. Okay, so that is a related party. And the related party transactions here is any, okay, is any transactions that are occur, okay, any transactions, okay, that are occur occur between, occur between related party and reporting entity, and then regardless of any price, at any price. Okay, so this is you refer back to slide 4 with the definition. What is the purpose of disclosure? Why we need to the disclosures of reported um, related party transactions. So for the disclosures, you need to refer to slide 23 after the examples here. Example of entity X. Okay, what is the purpose of the disclosure? There is a slide 23 mentions about the purpose of the disclosure. So the purpose of disclosures here is to enable user, okay, so enable user to view the effect, okay, enable user to view the effect. The effect of RPT, related party transactions. Okay, and then first one, and then the second one is related with the risk. Okay, inherent risk. Okay, and then it's related with the inherent risk that relate with a situation, the stewardships of information. Okay, so you can refer this one. Slide 23, it mentions about the disclosures. Okay, so I think that is the end of video exercise. Okay, so going to, if you have any questions, we're going to have discussions detailed for the next class. Okay, I done for exercise on operating segment, and then the other one is exercise on the related party. Yeah? So any queries or any doubt here, we're going to discuss during class. Yeah? Okay, so I think done about this one. Yeah? Okay, we're going to stop after this one. Yeah?